Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel outside the target demographic. Today I decided to drag my CL350 out of the barn, so let's get started. This is my 1970 CL350 Cafe Racer. What would that make it? 53 years old at this point? And I got it in not the best condition, and it's been sitting in the barn for probably 5 years now, and I think I'm at the point with the kids and life that I can drag it back out and get another running bike. So this is basically a precursor to if you purchase a barn find, as this one was literally in the barn, and what we can do to get it looking better and running better with minimal effort. I'm all about the minimal effort. So what we're gonna first start with is a little bit of vinegar on the more corroded and dirtier metallic surfaces. So I'm gonna blast that on there, let it sit for a bit, then we're going to wash and wax it and see how much better we can get the paint and metal and everything to look. And that's why we did a bit of a walk around so you can see the condition it's currently in, which is not stellar, but I hope to look this good when I'm 53 years old. And we have the befores. We're also going to be using some leather honey to get that seat back into better condition, clean up the mirrors, clean up the plastic dials, all the things. So as I said, we have our befores and we'll be able to compare that to the afters. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple sprays of the vinegar, let it start working, and then we'll get the hose and soap ready and we'll go ahead and start giving her a wash. As I said, we have just straight vinegar. I'm going to give a couple blasts to the steel. That's going to chemically and mechanically start breaking down some of the buildups and whatnot. Chain will probably need to be replaced. You can do a little blast there. I'm trying not to hit any of the rubber and whatnot, but you can see, like in here, it's very dark. Last I remember riding this thing, we had a gas leak or oil leak from either the head or the combustion chamber. I'm not really sure, so we will have to look into that. And basically, I'm spraying this on here to allow it to start working as I get the hose and all, and that'll be enough time for us to, come on, gotta hold it at the right angle apparently. Be enough time for us to get the hose and start neutralizing it and give it a wash. You are very much buried in there. Why are you giving me troubles? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit for a bit. The longer it sits, the better. The fact that it's all metal makes it less likely to damage too much, but I think that's going to be good. Let's go ahead and get the hose. As always, every time I wash my vehicles, I use this stuff. We use it around the house as well, mopping and countertops and all the things. Just so happens to be usable on number 10, car washing. So, when I do the buckets, you'll notice there's some debris in there, and that debris will act as a very, very low quality but effective sandpaper. So go to rinse your bucket out a couple of times before you start going after paint. That is several years older than me. A quick walk back over. And I don't see any bubbling or anything like that with the vinegar. I would say you can see some rather clear streaks of where it's ran and where it hasn't hit. So I imagine it's doing some good, but we'll let the bucket continue filling and rinse it down. Gonna look great. My intention with this is to leave it essentially in the condition it's in. I believe I'm going to do the linseed oil on the paint and try and seal it in as best I can. But I like the idea of this being a 53-year-old survivor. I don't really want a new bike. If I did, I'd go out and buy one. And they have new scramblers. This is the CL350 scrambler. The difference from a CB350 is the exhaust, the muffler here on the side, is on the side. Presumably to give you a little bit more sporty or off-roady kind of a look, and it does give you a little bit more ground clearance than the CB, but with the weight and the 50-year-old shock technology, you're more trailing or going on a gravel road than off-roading. But anyways, I believe currently Honda offers a scrambler model, and I do not care for the looks of it. I like that this is old and original largely, and I intend to keep it that way. So we're just going to do the best we can and try shining it up. All the rest and all to me is character. As long as she runs, if it's not a mission critical component, I'm less concerned about it. But already looking better, especially in the mid-morning sun. Looks great. Very excited. It's going to be a relatively short project, I think, probably less than 10 hours in it. The gas tank up at the front here, right there, has a small pinhole leak. So I think it's a 3-gallon tank, 2.5-gallon tank. I can only put 1 or 2 gallons in it before the gas starts sloshing and leaking everywhere. So I do need to do a tank seal. This will be the first time I've attempted that. I know that I have some kind of leaking fluid from the engine when it runs, so I know I'll have to address that. It is going to need a new battery. I threw just a standard 12-volt battery in there that is not rated for vehicles. It does have a kickstart, so I thought I'd rely on that. I think I might treat myself for $30 and put in a real battery. Probably an oil change, inflate the tires, see if they still hold. It should be tubed tires, so I imagine they'll be all right. So we rinsed it down real good. Now we're going to go ahead and suds her up. As always, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. A couple reasons for that. One, you would imagine there's less dust topside, less dirt, debris, stuff to get the water dirty as we return the rag to the bucket time and time again. Second, gravity is a thing, so the more water and soap you put topside will continue running down and getting the stuff underneath it damp and sudsed. So I'll let that continue doing its thing. And then third, while we are concerned about the water staying clean, we're also concerned about the rag staying clean. So if I started with the tires and the brakes and all, then I'm gonna have tires and brake road debris and dust and pad material and all that scratching the hell out of the paint, which is not what we want. She doesn't need any help in that department. So once you think you've used that one side of the rag enough, switch to another side, fold it in on itself, whatever you need to do. I soaked it for a good bit, both chemically with the vinegar and then with water. The thicker the suds and the larger amount of water, right? You don't see me wringing this. The more soap is going to be able to get into more places and start doing what it does. So don't feel like you have to wring it out. Kind of defeats the purpose. We're not drying it, we're cleaning it. Scrub it a little bit. Not so much on the paint, obviously, but we have some buildup on the metals, and it's always best to start with the least abrasive method first. If a rag can get that debris and rust and oxidation and all off, aces. If it can't, oh, nice. Sweet. If it can't, then we'll move on to something a little more abrasive. Nice. I don't know if there's a cleaning product out there. If anyone has experience, let me know. that will clean rust pitting like that. Not really looking to get this re-chromed or anything. As I said, looking to keep it a survivor, but rust isn't an aesthetic thing, it's a chemical reaction thing. It will actively start destroying finishes and compromising the strength of the metal and all that. So, man, that horn cleaned up real nice. Same thing here. Kind of do some polishing circles if you can. Get this all cleaned up. Another benefit to cleaning it is I'm looking for broken wires or stiff gas lines like this. So I'm kind of inspecting it as I'm going. Also, wow, this is largely just falling off. Fantastic. This is going to look great. Doing an inspection, looking for things that are going to need to be repaired, replaced. I'm also giving me a baseline. So I don't know if the bike, if the engine is still leaking, if the engine has the old leak byproduct on it. So by cleaning it, I know where I cleaned, how clean it got. And after a couple rides, I'll be able to better determine where it's leaking, what it's leaking, stuff like that. The rims are, of course, going to be eye drawing, so make sure we give those a nice clean. This is a drum brake, a double drum, one on the rear as well. This is 50-year-old technology. So all that gunk and grime will diminish your braking ability by, you know, tenths of a percent, but go ahead and clean that up as well. Okay. Looking for rips and tears in anything rubber, anything that should be holding fluid, holding air, oil, stuff like that. So at this point, I don't want to get super scrubby into the super dirty stuff. I have a broom head that I got from Dollar Tree without a handle, and I keep that in my car for scrubbing the car's engine bay and rims from time to time and all like that. So I'm just trying to get the soap and water into the places. We need to neutralize the vinegar that I sprayed, as well as effective, I'm sure, vinegar is. I leave the soap to be more effective. So I'm going to get this soap all up into places, let it start mechanically and chemically breaking stuff down, and then I can follow up with that broom head, and that will mechanically scrub things and get further up in there. So I think we're about done. Instead of rinsing quickly, I'm gonna let this soak for a bit. You can see the water's quite a bit dirtier than we started, so I'll have to get rid of this and replace it with new stuff. But 50-year-old paint job has a reflection to it. Awesome. Cleaned up real nice. Couple minutes later, she's kind of air dry, and I need to replace this water anyways, so we're just gonna pour it over her. Give her a second bath. The debris and all is more of an issue when you're mechanically grinding it in with a rag. So we're gonna swap out that water, let that solution continue soaking and doing what it needs to do. Man, she's really cleaning up nice. I don't know that it's showing as well in the camera. I can guarantee it's not showing up as well in the camera, but shining up real nice. I got a slight lump right here, which I seem to recall the last time I rode her. So I'll need to see if I can't pop these out and maybe restuff it. Don't really know. Any insights on that, let me know in the comments section down below. And we're gonna let that soap continue working and give her another rinse. Cleaning up real nice considering. So we are, after I poured the bucket on it, let's go ahead, rinse it off. We opened with vinegar. This time we're going to open with rubbing alcohol. And again, that's going to start breaking down the grime and grit and all. Man, you see that reflection? Ah, God, it's gorgeous. Anyways, so we're going to do a little bit more chemical breakdown with a little bit stronger solvent. I would not do this every time. This is years of buildup on a multi-decade old vehicle. So I'm going to put that on there, let it soak for a bit, and then hit it with another round of fresh water and fresh soap. Hello, Nar. We're about to do the second soap soak. That was fun to say. After we do that, this is the brush I got from Dollar Tree. Very large bristles that are not very firm. And this is easily going to get into your individual pieces of metal, be it on your engine block or deep up inside there. I can't really get my fingers in there. I may be able to get a little bit more of this in there. And that's going to give us a very safe mechanical scrubbing action and a little bit deeper reach. So between the two, let's get started. Actually works quite well. The fact that there's enough spacing in between the bristles allows you to pick up quite a bit of the soap, get it where it needs to go, get up in the smaller nooks and crannies. Works pretty well. Maybe just over a foot long, so you can hit a lot of surface area with just a couple back and forths. Would recommend, especially in here, you can see it just gets up in there, gets up behind there, lots of suds, and saves your fingers. Also, you get pretty uniform scrubbing action. Anywhere you push on the plastic is going to apply the same amount of force the whole way across. So saves your fingers and allows you to get in a little deeper than you otherwise would have been. Would recommend. Shining up real nice. That bristle brush works great at knocking free things that you think might not be loose. So stuff like this rust is going to continue to be there, but other larger chunks and all will be brushed off just like a toothbrush. I did go ahead and polish the seat with the brush, get more into the individual nooks and crannies and all. So starting with the rag wipes off, 80% of the stuff. And then following up with the brush will knock free the rest of the stuff that you may not have gotten to if you still had that original layer. It's cleaning up real nice. What I'll show you is I did wipe down the tank and the two side pieces with the rag. Everything else was with the brush. And again, this is our second time. You can see the bristles are quite dirty and the water is quite dirty as well. So while we absolutely did clean before, the brush knocked free a lot of stuff that we were not able to get, or that would have required a couple more follow-ups with the rag. I did do around the rims. It's much easier with the brush to go all the way around. God damn, that looks great. To go around the rims. So there's probably some brake dust and road debris and stuff like that in there as well. But cleaning up real nice. Let's go ahead and rinse it here in a couple minutes. Let that soap soak in a little bit. And then we're going to attempt to wax the painted objects. That'll probably conclude this video. Looks substantially better. I don't really see anything broken. A lot of the hoses and cables will need to be replaced due to their age. Very firm and brittle, more likely to break, so we may have to replace those. I'd like to get it running before we do any of that. Running versus reliable are two different things. cleaned up much better than I thought she would. A little bit of surface rust, which you're gonna have. The last thing I did is with a shop rag, I went around and cleaned all the metal bits around the rims, around the engine, bottom of the forks. This one has a slight leak from who knows how long ago, but you can see even with all, I think 3 washes now, including with a bristle brush, there's still going to be some deposits that the soap and scrubbing is going to help break up. So this is one of a great mini number of washes, but that gives me a better idea of the mechanical functionality and any kind of breaks and missing components and stuff like that. But I mean, call it getting, 80% cleaned, not bad. Once I get it running, I could take it to a car wash and do the pressure washer and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to do a quick coat on the paints, and then I'm going to, I believe, call it there. So let's see what that looks like before. And the after. So I only did the painted portions. Progress was made today. I don't want that progress to go away. So we did a sloppy waxing. We also did the mirrors and the instrument cluster here. So as I said, progress was made. We really don't want that progress to go away. Sealing out the dirt and grime and all, and sealing in the current condition of the paint. Ooh, nice. Current condition of the paint is good. I also did this guy as well. So I believe that is what we have for today. The next thing we're going to be doing is trying to treat some of the plastics and see if we can't resurrect the color and the condition. Try throwing a battery in there, check out the chain, stuff like that. So this is one of a great mini in this mini series, and hopefully it will be of assistance to someone out there who either has an old bike that's been sitting or has come across an old bike that has been sitting and should be riding. So this is Outside the Target Demographic. I appreciate you guys stopping by. As always, any questions, comments, concerns you have, leave them in the comments section below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.